สวัสดีค่ะ and welcome back to Ed Brain Site here on GBN Station. Here and now with me, Kankanam Wishitpan. Today we have two news updates from India, other news update from Thailand, China, and Nepal. Let's get started. On December 13 afternoon, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Kashi Vishwanath corridor, connected the ancient Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi to the ghats of the Ganga. The corridor, said to be the PM's dream project, has been built over an area of 5,000 hectares and said to not only decongest but also transform the temple complex. The 800 crores rupee project was launched by the PM in his parliamentary constituency in March 2019 with the aim of restoring the lost glory of the spiritual center. Officials said it had long been Modi's vision to create better conditions for pilgrims and devotees who had to endure the infamously congested streets and surroundings of the temple. The Kashi Vishwanath temple lacked direct access to the Ganga, and the 20-foot wide corridor was envisaged to connect Lalita Ghat on the holy river to Mandashok on the temple premises. The improvement of the infrastructure in Varanasi is expected to give a boost to tourism in the holy city as well as in the region, including the Buddhist pilgrimage site of Sanath. In a major discovery, a sculpture of Lord Buddha along with the remnants of Satavaha era bricks, which were part of a Buddhist monastery, were discovered in Bensa town by K. Murali, a history lecturer at Government Degree College in Nirmal. The sculpture was recovered from a minor irrigation tank behind Buddha Vihar near Siddhara Nagar in Bensa town. Ancient bricks discovered around this area, measuring between 4 and 14 inches, have revealed that Bensa was a spiritual center for Buddhism even before Savatanas ruled this region in the 1st century CE. The sculpture of Buddha, which is 10 inches tall and 8 inches wide, has been found along with red sandstone, which was used to carve the sculpture. Buddha can be seen meditating, sitting in the Dhammachakra Parivartana pose in the sculpture. Director General of the National Office of Buddhism in Thailand, Narong Songkarom, and Ambassador of Sri Lanka to the Kingdom of Thailand, and Permanent Representative to the UNESCAP, CA Shaminda I. Cologne, recently had fruitful discussions on strengthening centuries-old traditional Buddhist and cultural relations and cooperation between Sri Lanka and Thailand. Warmly welcoming Ambassador Shaminda Cologne at the National Office of Buddhism, the Director General Narong Songkarom elaborated on the role played by the Thai Supreme Sangha Council and the National Office of Buddhism as a central government agency of Thailand, responsible for administration of Buddhism under direct supervision of the Prime Minister of Thailand, and assure fearless supporting for furthering and consolidating long-standing excellent bonds of friendship and cooperation. At the invitation of National Office of Buddhism and Pradesh Sasana Pibhan, the Ecclesiastical Regional Governor of Region 14 and the Abbot of Wat Rai King, the Royal Temple, Ambassador Shaminda Cologne, along with Governor of Nakhon Pathom Province, attended the enshrinement ceremony of the Buddha's relics for Mawata Mahaviraya of Sri Lanka, Sukhothai Buddha image in pacifying the ocean posture onto the directional arches of Phra Ubali Mahamongkol Stupa, and the ceremony of casting the statue of Luang Por Wat Rai King on the occasion of 99th anniversary of Phra Ubali Kunupa Machan, former abbot of Wat Rai King, the Royal Temple, สมเด็จพระมหาราชมงคลมุนี Council of Sangha Supreme Council and Chief Superintendent of Central Sector of Wat Dai Mit Vitayaram Temple attended as the Sangha President of this grand religious occasion. two golden copper Buddha statues discovered in northwestern Shanxi province have become the earliest of its kind unearthed in China. The details of the two statues were revealed along with other cultural relics found in more than 3,600 ancient tombs in the province at a press conference held by the Shanxi Provincial Cultural Heritage Administration in provincial capital Xi'an. The statues were unearthed from a six-tomb family cemetery of the Eastern Han Dynasty. One is for Shakyamuni and the other for 5 Tathagatas. According to archaeologists, the carved figures, which were widely believed to embody religious beliefs, did not appear until the 16 Kingdoms period, dating back 200 years earlier than the previous discoveries. Based on preliminary results of the modeling characteristics, manufacturing process analysis, and metal composition detection of the Buddhas, it can be concluded that the two statues of the Gandhar style made locally, which has important research value for the introduction and synthesization of Buddhist culture. According to Li Ming, the leader of the archaeological project, the excavation site Hongdu Yuan Cemetery in the north of Chang'an, now known as Xi'an as the capital city of ancient China's Han and Tang dynasties, was the highest grade cemetery in the period apart from the emperor's mausoleum. Most of those buried in the tombs are found to be royal relatives, senior officials, and dignitaries, all recorded in historical books. So far, more than 16,000 pieces of cultural relics have been unearthed, and quite a number of important archaeological findings have been reported. The excavations are continuing at the site. Nepal's largest stupa, one of the holiest pilgrimage sites in Tibetan Buddhism, was festooned with biodegradable prayer flags after devotees replaced the more common synthetic versions with a greener alternative. Colorful prayer flags, which have auspicious symbols and prayers inscribed on them, are an integral part of Buddhist rituals. At the White Dome Bonatat Stupa, prayers flags stream down in 4 directions from the finial. On Saturday, workers swapped out the usual polyester banners and strung up new biodegradable ones. It is the center of Buddhist religious faith, so I believe that it will send a good message and spread in other places too. Chandaman Lama, chair of Bodhanath Area Development Committee, told AFP. Old prayer flags are usually burnt when discarded under the belief that the winds will carry the prayers to the gods. Traditionally, prayer flags were made of natural fibers like cotton and silk, but the current market is saturated with versions constructed of polyester and other synthetic materials, which take decades to decompose and emit toxic gases when burned. Mountain guide Dava Yangsum Sherpa took biodegradable flags on her recent expedition to the 5,630-meter Yanglongri Peak in eastern Nepal. It is very important for them to be biodegradable, she said. These prayers flags and katas have an unseen impact. Our mental well-being is as important as our physical well-being, and today the teaching monk will be teaching us ways to purify our mind and how to achieve a happy life. Let's get started.
How do we detox our mind? Think of the mind like the body. In order to detoxify our mind, there are 2 processes. The first one is to prevent the negative input, just like food. If you want to have clean body, the first thing is to choose healthier diet. What kind of food that you should take and bring benefits to your body. What kind of food that you take will be toxic to your body. The mind is likewise. What we choose to think, what we choose to be in contact with, what we choose to be surrounded ourselves with will actually become our input. So, the mind has a nature. Whatever the mind focuses on, it magnifies. If you focus on something positive, positive grows bigger. If you focus on love, love grows bigger. if you focus on pain grows bigger. If we practice mindfulness, then we can master that skill to harness attention and channel our focus to where that is more positive. In that way, we can choose what is the better input, healthier input for our mind. The second part is how to cleanse the negative input that we already consume in our mind. So that actually going through this process of meditation. Whenever we're meditating, the process is to bring our mind back and stay with it. When that moment happens, it brings clarity. In that clarity, we are able to review what's going on in our life. What are the mistakes that we have done? What are things to be grateful? What are things to be appreciated? In that case, we started to see what are trash, what are healthier nutrients. So we can choose what to keep and what to let go. And that is when we started to accepting ourselves. And then we can start to keep only the positive part with ourselves. And that's how we get healthier mind. So two things that we can do: keep healthy input, organic input for the mind. Two, keep cleaning your mind regularly with meditation. Ego is attachment to the ideas of myself. Normally, we can consider as living in illusion. We create an image of ourselves and it appears right here in front of me. And this is how much I work in order to live according to this image. This is how people should see me. This is how people should recognize me. Not this one, but this image I created for people to see. That's why I put a lot of effort using different cosmetic products, to put a lot of brand name, to put on certain kind of clothing, to go to certain kind of places to be seen, because it's the idea of myself. So ego is the attachment to that self idea, that this is me, without regarding on reality of me behind that scene. So when people get so attached to that ego, they're basically living in the illusion of themselves. They don't acknowledge reality of themselves, which means that if they do something bad, wrong, or making mistake, they wouldn't acknowledge them at all because they trap themselves in that idea of illusion. So that's actually how ego influences the way we make decisions. It causes us to make wrong and negative decisions easily. So the question would be, now that I know ego is a bad thing, how can I overcome ego? To overcome ego, starting with detachment of the idea of myself and acknowledge the true values of me. So I am not perfect. I have my flaws, I have my strength. But if I only live in my illusion that I am perfect, I am superior over others, then I don't see the mistake or flaw that I have, then I can never develop myself to be better. So in order to do so, it is to acknowledge me, the good side and the bad side that exists in everybody around me. So that's actually the way to overcome ego, to acknowledge this part. So to do so, starting by being humble. So that's why whenever I try to do something that I don't normally do, to step out of this illusion, acknowledge reality by, let's say, in the temple, I would just go and clean the toilet. In order to reduce this kind of idea that I am superior for this task, this duty, but instead I look at me just like everybody around here. Everybody's doing this thing. As a member of society that function. So I am part of the society. I should do it as well. It's not because I'm better than others. I'm just like everybody. So I acknowledge that part of me. I step out of my illusion. And that's how I little by little overcome ego. The second part is to appreciating others more, to acknowledge the good thing that others have or characters that they possess, so that I don't really trap myself as being superior and live in my illusion, and start to see that there are other people who are actually better than me, and I can be better than what I am right now, so I can be motivated to develop. So that's actually how to overcome ego.
If you're interested in mindfulness meditation and how to improve your mental well-being, make sure to like and subscribe Mind Stories YouTube channel. And now it's time for the Lord Buddha's Dharma quote. One who desists from sensual perception, who has overcome the fetter of form, who has destroyed delight in existence, he does not sink in the deep. And now it's time for us to say goodbye, and please make sure to check out all episodes of our At Burr Insight News program on our website, gbnus.com. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful week. สวัสดีค่ะ